you had said something about like being caught up in this. And I think for me and maybe for Michelle, we can kind of understand a bit where you were coming from when you said those words, because we've been in your shoes and, you know, we've been contestants and also the lead. But to most of the viewers, they haven't done this before, so they might not quite understand what you meant when you said caught up. So I would love to give you the chance to just elaborate on that, to shed some light onto that, because obviously I know Rachel was kind of caught off guard a bit when that was brought up.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think in that moment, that was probably not the first choice of words I should have gone with. But, you know, what I was trying to, you know, explain to her is that, you know, we were going through all of these different, you know, dates, and we were having all these different conversations, and things were just progressing so perfectly with us. And I feel like, you know, me feeling like we were ready together to go forward with an engagement. I felt, you know, maybe that was coming from a place of being just kind of caught up in everything. So when I had, you know, that adequate time to kind of sit there, evaluate where I was at, evaluate where our relationship was at, I unfortunately didn't get the chance to talk to her before meeting her family, but I just had some time to think about it. And I had some kind of new emotions and some new thoughts that came to how I was feeling. And that's what I expressed to her family. And then unfortunately I had to, you know, talk to her after. But I think, you know, once we had that conversation on the couch in my room after, I think some things started to really resonate. She started to understand where I was coming from a little bit. Unfortunately, she still didn't see that being enough to, you know, want to move forward with me. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so I'm sure you're gonna get all sides of the gamut in people's thoughts and opinions after this. That's just the nature of this beast. But I can totally understand where you were coming from. It's a lot. Like, you separate yourself from your family and friends and normalcy, and you put yourself in what is essentially a bubble, and it's easy to get swept up in the lights and the cameras and the most beautiful, romantic, extravagant dates. Like, so that's why I was saying I can kind of feel where you were coming from in that. I just wanted you to be able to elaborate a bit more. And I don't think, honestly, and people can fault me for saying this and have their own thoughts too, but I don't fault you for saying what you did. Obviously, it did catch her off guard, but I think it was very honest in what you were feeling in that moment.
Yeah, you know, I appreciate you saying that. I was just trying to do the best that I could, and you know, just letting everybody know where I was at. And, you know, it obviously would have worked out better probably for the both of us if I would have gotten the chance to speak to her first, because hearing it from her family, not from me first, was probably the most difficult part for her. If she would have heard it from me first, then, you know, she could have made a decision on whether she wanted me to meet her family or whatever the case may be. So, but I just went in there. I just have too much respect for people's family and for people's feelings to go in there and not tell them where I was at in that moment. So I just tried to do my best to tell them where I was at. And, you know, I had to, you know, of course, communicate that to her after. So it was difficult.